Coming up, 4 Victorian aged care homes in lockdown after a second worker tests positive to COVID. A crackdown on speeding hoons in the dark of night. An Aussie breakthrough in the treatment of Parkinson's disease. And an angry hippo chases sightseers. That's next. Tonight, former Attorney General Christian Porter ends his legal action against the ABC.
4 Victorian aged care homes in lockdown as a COVID cluster grows.
A man saved after being washed onto rocks by monster swell.
And the Blues team assembles as Game 1 gets moved to Townsville.
This is NBN News with Paul Lobb and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. Former Attorney General Christian Porter has settled his defamation action against the ABC.
The public broadcaster says it regrets the story but will not pay damages, and both sides are claiming a win.
It was a devastating claim that brought a minister to his knees.
I have been subject to the most wild, intense, unrestrained series of accusations that I can remember.
Chris Ullman, NBN News.
The situation in Victoria's aged care sector has deteriorated on a day where the state's COVID cases have surged.
With a resident and another worker among those testing positive, the government is warning of worse to come.
A friendly wave from an aged care resident in lockdown, an ominous reminder of heartbreaking times past.
A Queensland coup has put the Blues on the back foot 10 days out from Origin kick-off. Townsville was today confirmed as the host for Game 1 after Victoria's COVID outbreak forced the match from the MCG.
Origin redemption just got a whole lot harder.
There was drama in Newcastle this afternoon when a man was washed off Nobby's breakwater onto rocks by big swell. Those first on the scene say the man in his 60s is lucky to be alive.
Emergency services rushed to Nobby's, with reports a man was washed off the end of the breakwall, calling for help and lodged in rocks below with waves crashing over him. Jane Goldsmith, NBN News.
Newcastle Council says it's working on a plan to fix the section of South Newcastle Beach seawall that collapsed on the weekend. But one community group claims the Bathers Way upgrade, not the swell alone, caused the damage.
Built nearly a century ago, the only reason the section of seawall collapsed was because it was compromised, says the Board Riders Club.
It was a bumpy ride for the crew of HMAS Lewin this afternoon as the Navy survey ship departed Newcastle. From shore, it could be seen rising up and down in the 3-metre-plus swell as it made its way out past Nobby's. The sight, enough to make anyone feel a little green. The vessel was in port for the weekend.
Evidence in the trial of accused murderer Sale Newson has wrapped up in Newcastle. He's accused of killing his girlfriend, but a medical expert today claimed her injuries could have been caused by other means. And we warn Indigenous viewers, this story contains the name and image of a deceased person.
Carly McBride died from a number of blunt force injuries allegedly inflicted by her boyfriend.
A safe work investigation has begun following a fire in a chemical factory on Kooragang Island. Wong Fu Australia, which operates the fertiliser plant, says it was moving 300 tonnes of sulphur fertiliser. Early inquiries suggest that during the process, the product may have ignited due to friction from machinery running over sulphur dust on the factory floor. 40 firefighters were yesterday called to the Egret Street facility and used the product to smother the blaze. Surrounding factories were also evacuated. Wong Fu says no staff were injured and its equipment wasn't damaged, although one man was treated for eye irritation.
An unprecedented boom is happening in one of Newcastle's suburbs. Hamilton is experiencing an influx of new businesses, and it's inspiring others to take the plunge.
There's plenty of hope on the horizon for Hamilton's Beaumont Street.
We have had a lull, but by the same token, we see a resurgence now.
Madison Scott, NBN News.
Still to come, 2 bikes and a police helicopter, the wild chase through the streets of Sydney. Sort it out. That's the message from federal Labor to its New South Wales counterpart amid a messy leadership tussle. Jodie McKay's exit has done little to heal deep divisions as two candidates prepare for a long and bruising battle.
A party on a war footing. Today it was Chris Minns' turn to launch his crusade.
I want to be leader of the Labor Party.
Engineers have assessed the damage after a water main burst on the Central Coast, sending a torrent through Terrigal streets yesterday afternoon and flooding homes. Two properties were evacuated, one on the scenic highway, the other at Riviera Avenue, where a retaining wall was damaged. The breakage left properties in the Terrigal and Avoca Beach areas without water well into today.
Now it's over to Gavin Morris with a quick look at our weather. And Gav, what's ahead this week?
Well, not a bad start. Well, it's a farewell to autumn and a brand new season. Winter begins, but it's actually going to be milder during the first couple of days of winter than the final days of autumn. A little bit of mid to high level cloud on its way. That's all a part of a little bit of an inland rain event. Not huge, but we'll see some very welcome rain. It is so desperately needed west of the divide, particularly and throughout the upper Hunter. So that'll be coming through Thursday into Friday, generally clearing as we move into the beginning of the first full weekend of winter. So a new season begins. How's it all going to unfold? Well, I'll let you know how the first few days will be in detail locally real soon.
Thank you, Gav. Next, a possible breakthrough in the treatment of Parkinson's disease.
Also ahead, Australian Fashion Week returns with crowds and catwalks.
And a safari boat chased by an angry hippo.
They've had their differences, but today Scott Morrison and New Zealand's Prime Minister presented a united front. More than a year after Jacinda Ardern gave him a public dressing down, the two leaders met for talks in Queenstown.
A solemn moment on a misty morning.
The Australian stock market started the week in negative territory, the All Ords losing 17%. Westpac and the Commonwealth both lost ground, while BHP was down 31 cents. Buy now, pay later operators Afterpay and ZipPay contributed to the downward trend. Gold is up. Oil prices surged to a two-year high, rising more than 4% as demand outstrips supply. And the Aussie dollar is up on the US, the pound and the New Zealand dollar.
Over to sport now with Mitch Hughes.
Mitch, three young Panthers are ready for a shot at Origin.
They are. Well, they're already dominating the NRL. Thanks, team. We catch up with one of the new Blues next. Also ahead, the Maroons name a side with a raft of injury concerns. Their stunning start to the season has come with an added reward with a new batch of young Panthers picked in the New South Wales squad for Origin 1. Penrith's Jerome Luai, Brian Toe and Liam Martin all chosen to make their Blues debut.
From the foot of the mountains to the sea, the unbeatable Panthers are taking the show on the road.
And in breaking news, Jack de Belin is set to return to the NRL on Thursday night against the Broncos. It will be his first top-grade appearance since September 2018. The Swans will learn tomorrow whether Saturday's clash with St Kilda will be shifted to Cairns due to Victoria's COVID lockdown. Either way, coach John Longmire says both Buddy Franklin and Isaac Heaney are expected to play.
Get Ravalawa back, Duff's a chance. So we'll just have a look at that over the next 24 hours.
Danica Mason, NBN News.
And in breaking news, Jack de Belin is set to return to the NRL on Thursday night against the Broncos. It will be his first top-grade appearance since September 2018. The Swans will learn tomorrow whether Saturday's clash with St Kilda will be shifted to Cairns due to Victoria's COVID lockdown. Either way, coach John Longmire says both Buddy Franklin and Isaac Heaney are expected to play. After the break, Scott McLaughlin's star turn at the Indy 500 as Spider-Man wins.
Tonight's Sports Update is proudly brought to you by Hunter GWM Havel, a part of the Burton Automotive Group. Visit huntergwmhavel.com.au.
Newcastle's A-League clash with Melbourne City is yet to be rescheduled as officials monitor the situation in Victoria. Meanwhile, teenagers Lucas Moragas and Archie Goodwin will start for the Jets against the Mariners in Gosford tomorrow night. With 5 players on international duty, Craig Deans has limited options for Newcastle's 3 remaining games. Still on league and in round 5 of the Upper Hunter competition, Scone belted Denman 44-4 and Singleton outclassed Muswellbrook 30 points to 20. In Hunter Coast Premier Hockey, West secured an important 3-all draw with reigning champions Gosford. Maitland edged out University and Norths beat Souths by the same scoreline. Souths hit the front in the second quarter thanks to a well-worked short corner. But Norths hit back through New South Wales representative Kai Willett. He set up a goal and scored one himself as the Blues downed the Lions 3-2. Team, that's our look at sport.
Thank you, Mitch.
Gav has the weather.
A real estate record has been set for Eastern Lake Macquarie with a sprawling White Bridge mansion with ocean views selling for $4.825 million. Known as Kalara, the property on Burwood Road was on the market for about 5 years, passing through the hands of several real estate agents. Now, after a long delayed settlement, news of the sale has been revealed.
But imagine cleaning it.
Too big, way too big.
Gav's next with the weather.
Good evening, saying farewell to autumn 2021 and hello winter, although the first couple of days are going to be quite mild. How's the swell been stealing our coastline yet again? But Darren Kidd, fantastic shot. Zenith Beach, biggest just out of control. It's an incredible set line up there, thumping on through. The past 24 hours, we've had little rain over eastern Australia, mostly throughout the northern tropics and a few scattered falls, but a little bit of rain there coming down across the south coast of WA, thanks to that low, dragging it in. Mid to high level cloud. Moisture actually streaming in from the northwest. We haven't had one of these for a very long time, and rain is desperately needed. It's very dry throughout the inland areas of the Upper Hunter and anywhere west of the Divide again. So this little burst of rain coming through during the latter part of the week is certainly going to be handy. We need it. So there's that system. Scattered light falls throughout southern central Australia. The high now just inching its way out over the Tasman. That'll begin to settle the swell, and the warmer air mass will begin to creep in, and we'll also see some of that mid to high level cloud from that system begin to move in overnight and throughout tomorrow, and then break up a little as it runs into that high pressure system. It's going to be another cold start. It was a record breaking end to autumn. For Melbourne, Sunday morning, it was the coldest May morning in 65 years. Numerous records were broken right throughout the southeast, -6s, -7s, even -8s, and some of the footage of the frosts just incredible. From Sydney to Brisbane, becoming mild throughout tomorrow, and for the Alice as well, and only 19 on the way for the Golden West. 19s with the theme today for plenty, only maxing out into the teens after what was a pretty chilly start yet again. Humidity count a little there because we had a southerly switch there this afternoon that drew in, and it's moderated, but tomorrow it's all about the westerlies again, and warmer or milder west-northwesterlies there, just rolling down across the valley floor and out to sea over the Central Coast and Port Stephens. It's going to be a dry day and therefore a little bit milder as well. Still going to be another cold start as the cold air gets forced all the way to the beaches, the lake, and also around Port Stephens. May even see some fog and mist, and then warming nicely to around about 20 degrees. So 20 is really the theme for most throughout tomorrow. We should just escape the teens there momentarily around the lunchtime hour for the entire valley, from the mountains to the, well, what's left of the golden, well, it's actually just dirty sand. It's just debris-covered sand at the moment across our beaches because of this brutality here, but that is easing off as well. Swell easing from 3 metres overnight. That'll be dropping. Low tide tomorrow morning, 20 to 8, and then back to the high there at about 10 to 2. Sun to rise, 6:46, and down at 4:55. So nice and mild, a little bit of cloud. There's that inland rain, and a little bit will reach the coast, a little bit cooler, but it should be fine. That system largely fining up as we enter the weekend. Inland rain, should see a little more fall throughout the upper Hunt. It'll be handy, and it is going to be a little bit cool there as we move into the first full weekend of winter, but it should be fine also for the Central Coast, getting the rain out of the way Thursday, Friday. Wow, what a weekend again. There's that debris I'm talking about across our battered beaches, and now it's a case of wake up in the morning and find out what we've got. The swell will subside, the winds will be west, and who knows what's going on with the banks, and who knows what the water temperature will be tomorrow morning. It just stirs up everything. It basically presses the reboot button. So get up early and see what we've got first thing tomorrow morning. Good luck.
Thanks, Gav. Finally tonight, hippos look placid until one starts chasing your boat, diving and surging through the water like an oversized dolphin. Thankfully, this safari boat in Uganda managed to escape those powerful jaws. Hippos are one of the deadliest African animals, well ahead of lions and elephants. They're fast too.
I'd say he was hungry as well.
Yeah, hungry hippo.
And that's NBN News for this Monday.
A current affair is next, and the late bulletin is at 11.
Thanks for your company from all of us here.
Good night.